Trade unions, they're in the news a lot right now, and it's fair to say there are good ones and there are not so good ones. There are some that back their members to the hilt and others who let them down. There are some who operate with full transparency and others a little bit shady. One of the good ones is the IWGB, the Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain. These are the guys who took Deliveroo workers under their wing, working with them to try and get their employment status properly recognised, with all the rights to sick pay, maternity leave and the like that go with that, and end the exploitation in the gig economy that we hear so much about. Having Deliveroo riders becoming unionised with the IWGB has been a massive deal both for the union and all of the workers they've helped. Unfortunately, the much larger GMB union, who had done scant work with the employees, went to the employers, went to the bosses, did a deal with them to become the recognised union of Deliveroo. In exchange, we're not really pushing too hard to rock the boat. By becoming the recognised union, by doing this stitch up with the bosses, Deliveroo will now only negotiate with the GMB. They can claim they accept collective bargaining, but essentially only need to do so on their own terms. Its stance that the self-employed independent contractor status they claim all their riders have remains in place, despite being a complete contradiction to that, as the GMB have allowed them to do so. Net result is no collective bargaining. You're a bit fucked when your representatives are in with the bosses. Well, the IWGB aren't taking it and are now taking Deliveroo to the Supreme Court over their grubby deal with the GMB, over the fact they are denying collective bargaining rights to anyone not a GMB member. The IWGB represent more gig economy workers than any other union. That's quite a big deal because they're still a relatively small union. They've been gazumped by a much bigger right-wing union, which doesn't have workers' interests at heart. They're the bosses' union. That's disgusting. And I wish the IWGB the best of luck in this.